Hey there. Did you know that there's a little secret about the law of attraction that most people don't know about? I've been teaching the law of attraction for years, for actually a long, long time now, decades, quite honestly. When I first learned about the law of attraction, it was through a book by Brian Tracy called Maximum Achievement. When for the very first time, I ever learned about the universal laws. Blown away. That was one of those things. But the thing I'm going to mention and share with you today is also one of those kind of mind-blowing things if you haven't heard about it before. And it is, to me, it is the secret. It is the mechanism behind having consistent, quick manifestations. And whether you're in business for yourself, whether you are looking for more money in your life, whatever it is, knowing this will help dramatically. And I'm so confident about this because what I'm going to share with you, and I'll just bring it right out now, the secret to all of this is tapping into and receiving frequency. Look, I'm a logical gal. I've been in business for a long time. I was working in the corporate world before, and so I like things to be strategic. I like things to be logical, but I also believe in the magic of the universe. And I think probably you do too, if you're still here with me. And we've heard Abraham Hicks talk about the vortex. And to me, it was just like, I didn't even know, what is that? It was just always, there was this missing piece. Did you find that too? Neville Goddard, law of assumption and feeling is a secret. Yes. Okay, great. Got into that too, but there was still something missing because I just get really excited and I teach my clients to get really excited. And look, my clients have had crazy, amazing things that have happened to them, manifestations in their business and their personal life, but they weren't consistent. And that just frustrated me. So I was always on this quest to find that mechanism of what really makes the difference in being able to manifest quickly and consistently. And when I started learning about this from my mentor, maybe about 2 years ago now, it was just such a mind warp for me. And he talked about frequency and receiving frequency. I was just like, what are you talking about? And I kind of like the idea because, of course, as being a logical kind of person, oh, frequency, how does that make a difference? Well, when you tap into a frequency, if you think about a radio station, and you're dialing the radio station. So this is for the older crowd, the vintage crowd, right? Where you're dialing on a radio station and you're dialing in between stations. You go one station to the next station. And in that, those are different frequencies. Great. But here's the difference about this compared to law of attraction. With law of attraction, like attracts like, which indicates that there is a distance between you and your ideal, right? Your ideal manifestation, the goal that you're looking for. There's a space. But what if there wasn't? According to multiple worlds theory, what happens is that everything is happening right now. If you think about it, in this time now, it's easy to kind of understand because, look, Netflix, there are, lots of different things that you can be watching and they're all available now. YouTube, there is millions upon millions of videos and how many hundreds of millions of hours of video that are there at your fingertips right now. They all exist now. That's the same thing. There is a version of you right now living the life and having that goal, or whatever it is that you want to be, do, or have. There's a version of you that already has that thing. And when you think of it in terms of, okay, yeah, there's YouTubes, there's all the YouTubes are there right now. It's the same thing with you. There's a break off of you. That's what the many worlds theory proposes, is that there is a break off you on a different timeline that already exists that has that. But in that, the idea also is that the reason you have the desire is that it's kind of a bleed through from that other version of you. Or you could also think of it in terms of you actually are aligning with yourself, that version of you, but you're not quite there. You haven't merged with that reality yet. You haven't materialized into that reality yet. And so this is the whole idea, is that when you receive, not conjure up in your mind and visualize, this doesn't require visualizing. This actually requires downloading the information that is out there in the universe. And the way our mind works is that there's so much information that we don't tap into. And so when we are trying to visualize or trying to come up with what it could be like to have that thing in our life, what happens is we're actually only accessing what we already know. So going back to frequency, when you are dialing in or receiving that frequency of the you in that reality that you really want, it happens more consistently and faster. And this is what I'm so excited to share with you, because what that means is that all frequencies for anything that you could possibly want already exist now. So I'll repeat that. All frequencies for anything that you could possibly think of, dream up of right now, they exist right now and are accessible to you. You can access it. And when you get into that sense of knowing, into that frequency of knowing that changes how things are, how things work, how you work, how reality works, because you're starting to realize now that reality is a little bit different than what you thought. When you start to understand this, when you start to kind of bring this concept into your own reality, then amazing things start to happen. I'm starting to teach a program about this called the No Limits Success Accelerator, activating a new you, because really what happens, or activating you 3.0, because I'm assuming you're a driven person, right? You've already hit your you 2.0. Let's now work on the bigger thing, the cooler thing, the big thing that you really, really want. So when you're activating 3.0, you have to change. But it's not a process of change that's going to take weeks, years, months, going to take a long time. So what we want to be doing is just keeping our focus on the thing that we want. And this is the mechanism. This is the mechanism that makes everything work. It's the mechanism that explains why years ago I knew that my husband's boss was going to move us from one city to the other and open a store. And it was something he didn't even know. And yet I knew it ahead of time. We actually acted accordingly. I moved, left Jeff behind in the city we were in. He hadn't told his boss yet that he was moving. I moved, rented a house, which we ended up buying later. Again, that's a whole other story in terms of just this amazing manifestations. But all this kind of happened because I knew. Now I understand why I knew. It's because I was tapping in to the frequency of that reality. Nobody else was tapping into it. I knew it. I knew it existed, and I did not doubt. So that explains that. That explains intuition, explains when you just know something's going to happen, or you have this premonition something's going to happen. Frequency. You tapped into a frequency. But that's why also some intuitives can be not correct. And so why is that? Sometimes they're bang on, sometimes they're just not at all. Why is that? It's because in that moment, they're tapping into a frequency and a timeline that you're traveling on. And, that timeline can change and shift quickly with every decision you make. So as soon as you get off the phone with your intuitive, your psychic, your medium, whoever it is, as soon as you walk out the door and you start making different decisions and different choices, all of a sudden your timeline starts to change. And so whatever they were predicting in that moment has changed. But again, why is that? What's the common denominator here? Frequency. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today. There is that mechanism underneath. It's a foundation of law of attraction. And when you tap into this, your manifestations are going to come quicker and easier. And the whole process is way more fun because you're just having fun doing it. So I'm so glad that you're here with me. Thank you for sharing your time with me. If you really want to level up quickly and you don't want to try and reverse engineer this and you don't want to try and figure this out, again, this took me a couple of years to really tap into, but now I put it in basically 7 modules and you're going to learn quickly. And in the program that I have, you're going to have a year worth of access to me for, a ridiculous investment that is going to pay dividends for the rest of your life. Not just for one thing, but for the rest of your life. And it is going to pay for itself over and over and over and over and over and over again. And I can absolutely guarantee that if you use the tools. So if you really want to fast track yourself, then I'm going to leave the link down below. And in the meantime, if you're on YouTube with me right now, please hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment, please. Leave a comment. What was your main takeaway from today? And hit the notification bells because I'm going to be talking about this stuff more. So you'll get notification the next time I do this. And if you are on Instagram or TikTok or wherever else you find this, please like it and follow me. I would love that. Have an amazing day. And I can't wait to see what you manifest. I can't wait to see what magic unfolds for you. All right. See you next time.